In this video, you'll learn 5 expert marketing hacks that you can start using to drive traffic to your store right away. Now, how did we get these marketing hacks? Well, we interviewed successful dropshippers and we asked them to share with us the strategies that worked for them. However, these dropshippers didn't all agree on the same strategy. That's because they have very different stores, and we'll show you those stores in this video. But we interviewed them precisely because they didn't agree on their marketing strategies. As a new dropshipper, you need to know all the marketing tools available in your marketing toolbox so that you can pick the one that fits your budget, your time allocation, and your other business needs. By the end of today's video, you'll have a list of new marketing strategies that you can start using right away, and you'll have an idea of what a successful dropshipping store actually looks like. The first entrepreneur you'll meet is Ed. Now, Ed started a general store with his friend where he leveraged his own background in digital marketing to really scale the daylights out of Facebook ads. Ed's store made over $500,000 in revenue in under 2 years. And with those profits, Ed is now traveling in Southeast Asia. And why did you start dropshipping?
It wasn't something that I naturally sort of fell into. I think it was a weird sort of progression how I ended up dropshipping originally. So what ended up happening was, I worked for a pretty well-known marketing company in Canada. I got very lucky to get my foot in the door there. I didn't really have any marketing experience beforehand. I was just doing videography before. And I got my foot in the door with this marketing company. Started out doing sort of a little bit of videography, but then they also had me doing ad creation for Facebook and Instagram.
You're also going to meet Roy from Switzerland, and I wish I had just a fraction of Roy's energy. Roy is a serial dropshipper, and he's obsessed with e-commerce, as you can tell by the e-commerce poster he has on the wall of his bedroom. Roy started a niche watch store that made over $50,000 in a year, and this was one of many stores that Roy was managing at the time. Roy is scrappy, and you're going to love the tips he has about how to create landing pages that convert browsers into buyers.
For me, like a classical 9-to-5 job was never ever the right thing. That's just because I'm not the type of guy that can just take orders and just keep working like the same wage, same like holidays, everything will stay the same. You know what I mean? I need something that is like really flexible in my life and that always like changes and it has always like big opportunity to grow.
Roy's store, The Watch Revolution, is actually available for sale on The Exchange. The Exchange, if you're not familiar with it, is a marketplace where you can browse and buy pre-built stores and sometimes already profitable stores from other dropshippers like Roy. Finally, you'll meet Mina. Mina joins us from the United Arab Emirates. Mina also has a background in e-commerce, but he was actually in subscription-based businesses before moving to dropshipping. Mina bought his store on the Exchange and worked on it on the side, and he scaled it to make over $5,000 in a couple of months by selling yoga apparel to the French target market.
I'm selling yogapants.com, and it's a niche of dealing in yoga, as well as all the tools and materials and clothing and merchandise to do with yoga. And it's focused on the French-speaking market.
Now that you've met the entrepreneurs, let's dive into their marketing hacks. The first expert marketing hack for you is to adapt your marketing strategy to the kind of store you're building. People agonize over whether they should be starting a niche store or a general store, and there are pros and cons to both. However, you should not think that you can market items in a niche store exactly the same as you can market your items in a general store. Not gonna work. One of the benefits of a general store is that you can test all kinds of different products in different niches. By testing these different products, you can more quickly find your winning product and really drive tons of traffic to that page. In fact, take a listen to what Ed said about this.
We started with a very general store. We started and, we had this idea that maybe if we, put a bunch of different products all over the website, that at least if we got a customer, there might be something else that they come back and become a repeat customer for.
So if you're wondering whether to go with a niche or general store, think with marketing in mind and maybe take into account this thought from Roy.
I feel like general stores are good to test something like itself, when you're just starting out, it's fine. But like niche is like my way to go. Like niche is what I'm a huge advocate of.
One of the biggest advantages with niche stores is that you can go after repeat customers.
I think it's very important to kind of target a repeat buyer. And you can do that by having a great product, by giving a great customer service experience, both pre and post purchase, and then by updating the person thereafter. So using newsletters, getting them following you on social media in some way, and then keeping your social media up to trends. A lot of that is important because in the same way that you brought them to your store one time, that's half of the job done in terms of they trust you now. And so the rest of the process is to feed them more things which they'd be interested in purchasing.
The second expert marketing hack for you to know as you build your business is that you've got to budget time and money to learn marketing. Yes, I will tell you exactly how much to budget because I know you're asking that. I asked Mina that very same question, and here's what he said.
And in total, I was looking at doing 10 days of $30 a day.
So to summarize what Mina said, if you budget $30 a day for 10 days, you'll have spent $300 learning all about your target market.
We spent those 10 days really learning about what works, what are the ads that get a good reaction. So for example, we realized very quickly that gift type ads really don't do anything at all for our viewers. But ads where somebody's wearing our merchandise did very well. And so that was a big one for us. And we learned that, within 2 or 3 days of advertising. We also learned what our target audience is and had a lot of data that we could keep for ourselves in terms of these are who we go after. These are the people who buy our water bottles, but these are the people who buy our pants, our trousers and yoga pants. And so we learned a lot within those first 10 days. And I would say that gave us a confidence to carry on a little bit longer and to keep spending. We just knew now where to spend the money versus we were kind of guesstimating in the beginning.
Now, you're probably wondering, well, what if I don't get any sales during that time? Mina had this additional thought that I think is really relevant.
So there's a handful of tools out there which are free. A lot of them sit in the form of blogs. So I mentioned Shopify has a fantastic blog. Oberlo has a good blog too, and they've got some great tools in there where you can understand a bit more about targeting your clients or potential customers. But then there's a lot of online courses too, which people can pick up. They're fairly easy. Udemy has a handful of them, and where basically you dedicate a handful of hours each day to sitting down and attending a digital course. Write notes, learn about it, understand what you're doing. And we're not saying that if you attend one of these courses or read all of the blogs that are out there, that you're going to get it perfect. Part of the learning process is also attempting yourself. And then when you attempt and you see the results aren't perfect, you're going to understand what parts of the results aren't perfect.
At the risk of sounding salesy, as I had these conversations with the entrepreneurs, I thought, well, we at Oberlo have a course that teaches the basics of Facebook marketing. Now, I want to emphasize that you can learn a lot about Facebook marketing for free. The value that we hope we provide in Oberlo 101 is that we take away the guesswork in searching for those resources and putting them in the right order by providing a comprehensive guide to not only Facebook ads, but everything related to building a store. If you're willing to pay for that work that we put into curating and creating those original materials, then Oberlo 101 might be worth considering. Just to make it a little easier for you to access Oberlo 101, go to the course page, I'll link to it below, and enter the code YouTube. That's going to give you 20% off the course, which is about $10 off the course, and that deal is only good through the end of March. But I hope you use it, and I hope you find value in Oberlo 101. And if you already are, please leave a comment below and just let our community what you think of the course so they can decide for themselves if it's worth buying. The next expert marketing hack, the thing that all of our experts agreed, was you have to constantly test your ad creative. If creative is a new word for you, it just means the picture or the video, basically the media that goes into your ads. And Ed warned me, don't just test your ad creative by throwing a random video in there.
In each of those creatives, there has to be the understanding that you're not just throwing a creative in there and going, well, let's see what happens. That's the most crucial part of the advertising, that and the copy, but mostly the video creative or image creative is really going to be the thing that makes the biggest difference, at least in the success or failure of your Facebook ads. There are obviously many other variables too, but
Roy had this to say about exactly what you want to test with your ad creative.
Like when you have different thumbnails, or like use the 3 seconds of the video first that you would have to use another video, and you would see, oh, okay, people click off, like they bounce off the video like 5 seconds earlier if they see this clip first.
Your first ads will probably suck. I mean, Roy's first ads did, and he's willing to admit it.
One of the reasons, like, my marketing was quite, when I compare it to now, it was really bad. Like it was, I mean, like when I look at everybody in the beginning, like you have like a red text on a white background, and there's like somebody like going to a dog niche page, and they're like, how much do you charge for you see the funniest ads is like the ones you see on like these small Instagram pages with like 10,000 followers, and you see like a red, like literally like let's say like a green background with like a dog necklace, and it's like red free shipping or something on it, and it's just like makes you laugh so hard. But like everybody starts at one point, you know, you just start out and you don't really show your, like, you don't even show it to your friends, nothing, you just do it on your own, and you actually think it looks good. And that's like that's like the thing.
Just because of that comment though, don't assume that you need a whole professional film crew to create ads that get clicks. In fact, you may be better off just using your iPhone. I really liked what Ed had to say about this topic.
You know, a lot of the best video creatives that do really well, they're not shot in a professional studio anymore. At least the ones that I've seen that have worked really, really well for drop shipping and other things. You know, you're not got these insane budgets where you have to go to a video production company and pay 10 grand for them to do a really nice video. In fact, that's probably going to work worse than the video you shot in your bedroom.
We realized in the end that the ads that do best are stills. So just photos. A carousel of photos could do well too, but typically stills are the best. People like to zoom in, people like to get a better understanding, people like to see a form fitting versus, you know, something that's just a product in action or a quick flash.
This next expert marketing hack isn't for everyone, but 2 of the 3 entrepreneurs in this video used it, and I think there's a lot of potential behind it. This hack is to target international audiences. That is, target audiences in countries other than the US, Australia, the UK, and Canada as you're finding potential markets for your product. Roy emphasized that if you speak another language, especially if it's French, Spanish, Italian, even Brazilian Portuguese, use that when you're building and marketing your dropshipping store.
Yeah, no, I would like only go for Spain, like specific, and then it's not hard to get somebody that's Spanish speaking or somebody that is like French or whatever, like, because like as I told you, like, you have to abuse that. If you're from France, you have to abuse that you can make a .fr store with like everything French. Like you might think, oh, well, my audience is only like 800,000 on Facebook, but like that doesn't matter because this 800,000 is like so specific. It's the same as if I would say like, okay, I would go up and be like, hey, Switzerland, what's up? Hey, Minnesota, what's up? And I only target like Minnesota or only target Switzerland. And these people are instantly like, I talk to these people. And it's the same, like if I get talked to in my mother language, it's way different than if somebody talks to me in English. It's like my like that's just what I've known like all the time, and that's why it works so well.
I know what you might be thinking. The e-commerce audiences in the US are huge, which means there's way more people for you to go after with your ads. By comparison, a market like France is a lot smaller. Here's what our dropshippers had to say about that.
And not only will you have like a really hyper laser targeted audience, also you will have like lower ad costs, which is like lovely. It's like really big. And like I've been doing this for a while now.
If you don't speak those other languages though, you can still take advantage of this marketing hack. Mina actually hired people from Fiverr and Upwork to help him with the copy for his ads so he could target a French market. Are you a native French speaker?
No, I'm not. So I speak some French, but I'm not a native French speaker. One of the things that I spent learning, and it's not French, in order to improve my store. That's way too many hours to improve a dropshipping store. No, it was trying to find individuals who are just good with French content. So they don't know much about marketing. They're very good copywriters, they're very good ad writers, etc. But marketing is not their niche. And it was just about kind of getting them to write, to produce And we were looking at a lot of successful stores out there who had a lot of likes on their posts or a lot of followers, organic followers that is, to try and find what they were writing and what they were posting and what the French market was interested in, and to give those ideas to our copywriters who would produce, and these were copywriters that we're finding on sites like Upwork and Fiverr, who would look at these ads, kind of do look-alike type ads, create them for us and put them out there.
So to sum up, even though those international audiences are smaller, they're less likely to be bombarded with dropshipping ads compared to their North American counterparts. The key is to find a small, passionate niche anywhere in the world that people are online shopping. If you're now curious about international markets and how to market to them, we have a video that can help you get started and recommend some products to sell to those countries. Just check out the links in the description below to find that video. Our next marketing expert hack is to keep your customer in mind when you're creating product pages. I know that's vague, but here's what most people don't realize. When people are scrolling through Facebook, they aren't shopping. These are people just scrolling to see what their friends are up to and, I don't know, find a couple cute dog photos. They're not in the mind of, oh, I need to buy a new pair of leggings. When they see your ad, they get curious. But because they're not in that buying mindset, you have to warm them up. You can't just send them to a product page and say, buy now.
With a lot of this advertising, people are just like, okay, yeah, the product looks interesting. They're scrolling through Facebook. They're not necessarily looking to buy whatever it is you're trying to sell them. So there's sort of like this very mild interest maybe in what they've just seen from Facebook. What a lot of them will do is, if their buy now button is readily available to them straight away, as soon as they get to the page, they'll click buy now just to see how much the product costs and go, no, and then leave. That person could have potentially bought your product if you'd have created another perhaps compelling video at the very beginning of your page, showing off another different aspect of your product, or a longer video that you didn't use on Facebook that you can put at the beginning, along with some really compelling copy.
That's why Ed says you can't just list the basic features of a product. You have to really pull someone into the sale.
I've seen a lot of people do this, and I think this is a mistake. They'll lead people to a product page that just lists the features of the product that they're selling. It's got an 8-hour battery life, and you only need to charge it once for blah, blah, blah. Generally, you have to commit somebody to sort of like an emotional response. You want to write, what it would be like to have this product, why this product is potentially better than, the other products that are competing with it on the market. Why that one?
If you're wondering how to do that, look to your customers for clues. Roy had this great insight.
The customers might think you have a different view of the product than you, and it's like, yeah, does it do this? Does it do that? They could ask that on email. They could ask that on the Facebook ad itself. So it really is super important that you keep putting points to make the product explain itself easier and easier.
As Roy mentioned, you can use your customer's own language to write bullet points on your product pages or landing pages. What you want to do is find language that your customers or potential customers are using to describe your product. You can find these in AliExpress reviews. You can even find them on comments to Facebook ads or Instagram posts. Study these comments and include that language in your product descriptions. Before we go, I just want to let you know that you can actually work with Mina or Roy to grow your dropshipping business if you, buy their dropshipping businesses. The cool thing is if you buy a store on the exchange, you get that support from Mina and Roy as you're starting out.
Oh no, I would definitely how I would go about it is this is just one store. I would just tell them, nail everything down as in strategy wise, what I've learned over the last 3 years. I would show them everything as in perspective of marketing, what you can do, product research, blah, 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 all the things you would learn.
If someone were to buy your store, you are willing to work with them for a period of time to help them get it up and running?
Definitely, I'd love to, because I want to see the store succeed as well. And so I do want to share not just kind of the goods that come with the store, such as the logos and the ownership of domains, etc., but rather I want to go a step further and share with anybody who makes a purchase, the data that we've picked up with time, the understanding of our target audience, what works, what doesn't work. We've got a lot of kind of shared notes that we've got between us and the others who are working on the project to share with them too, and that way they can almost see a history of our learning and success to then be passed on to them.
So if you'd rather scale a store with a lot of promise with some one-on-one help instead of starting a store from scratch, go to the exchange, get in touch with Mina and Roy, and let us know how it goes. Which of these marketing hacks are you going to implement first? And what else should I be asking these entrepreneurs? Let me know in the comments. I respond to all of them, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, learn often, market better, and sell more.